such a dick. Aha! I made it anyway.
All right, there you go.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, peeps.
Just a moment, I figured we'd go live because it's almost 8 o'clock, and we like to at least start the broadcast between 7 and 8 o'clock, so there's a regular time frame for you for week to week. But I don't have GarageBand up yet, so this is entertain the people, would you?
Well, is there anyone watching?
No.
Okay, well, maybe someone will come back. We're not officially on the air, so head over to shadowvane.net. That's shadowvane.net to check out tomorrow, or possibly today, depending on when you listen to this, the first preview episode of my new podcast.
Or 3 weeks ago, if you're watching on
Or,
YouTube.
yeah, that could be too. Today is August 13th, 2014. On the show this week, Billy the brandishing ballerina. I don't know. I got nothing today. I'm gonna go back to work tomorrow.
See, it's difficult to just randomly come up with shit, isn't it?
It is a little bit, yeah. Well, if someone was more professional and was prepared.
Oi! Oi!
Oi! Oi!
Whose
Oi!
show is this,
Oh!
fuckface?
Let's go! Oi! Hey, less swearing. Oh! Let's go!
We're not recording the podcast yet. I can.
Oh, that's true.
Fuck!
Fucking pussy. Fucking asshole. Fucking cunt. Fucking tosser.
I'll fuck a pussy and an asshole if you want me to.
At the same time?
Yes, I have two dicks. They call me Jimmy Two Dicks. I don't know why. My name's not Jimmy.
You ever seen that picture of that guy that does have two penises?
No.
It's very odd. I'll link you. I'll link you later.
Let's do that after the show.
He did like an Ask Me Anything thing, and then there were some interesting questions.
Tell me everything you know. I have to find my earbuds.
Hey, Gorilla Radio. Oh, he's gone. So I guess it's my podcast now. I'm in charge, so we're gonna only talk about wrestling from 1992. Hi, he's back. I need to do another.
Speakers are still on.
Good point. I need to do another one that.
Maybe 6 feet from my computer.
True. I just assumed you were deaf. God, they should make podcasts for deaf mutes.
How exactly would that work?
I don't know. You get on it. Figure it out. We could make tons of money. Think about that untapped deaf mute market.
They have podcasts for deaf people. They're called newsletters.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh,
all right.
Oh, that's so awesome. All right, are we ready to try this new format out?
Why is that so fucking loud?
I'm nervous. It's like the first time all over again.
It's. You'll be fine. Just relax.
Okay.
And arch your back.
Okay. Hi, Troy.
Hey, Troy's here.
Troy Bosen.
Yes, Google.
My man.
I know how to work the Q&A app for fuck's
My
sake.
man. My man, Troy.
Oh,
God, I'm dying. That's really breathy.
Christ, get your shit together.
Hey, you get your shit together.
My shit is together.
I'm dying. Do we get any more iTunes? No.
Nope.
How's anyone supposed to find us if we only have 14 reviews?
Dicks. They're gonna find us by our dicks.
Wait, what?
Turn that down a little bit.
How does that?
It's a hot mic. It's a little hot mic. Will you stop dying over there?
Sorry.
Jesus H.
My apologies.
Monkey, fuck, son of a bitch, ass. Thank you, Troy. You want to do that one since you're the big Triple H mark?
I
Or will you start coughing in the middle of it and
I
die?
might. Are you ready? I said, are you ready? Then, for the 3 people in attendance and the 20 people who will download this around the world, let's get ready to run down!
And if you ain't down with that, I got a hyphenated word for you. X-Pac! must know that- he must know that Sean
no,
is here.
the two words are not hand dicks, Sean. That's not hand dicks.
What about hand dicks? Oh, there
That's
it
what Sean.
Oh.
I got 2 words for you. Hand dicks.
is. That's a reference to something that happened at work today.
Oh.
Let's record, shall we?
Yeah, let's get started
All
here.
right, since it's 7:57 p.m.
All right.
Rundown, episode 164
Mm-hmm.
in 3, 2, 1, record. This week's episode of The Rundown is brought to you by Dean Ambrose's gift wrapping service. We can wrap any size gift in fancy paper and ribbon so you can jump out and beat the crap out of your most hated rival. Dean Ambrose's gift wrapping services. Big or small, we'll wrap them all.
Nice rhyme.
Thank you. Matt Bloom, a.k.a. Prince Albert, a.k.a. Albert, a.k.a. A-Train, a.k.a. Giant Bernard, a.k.a. Lord Tensai, a.k.a. Tensai, a.k.a. Sweet Tea, a.k.a. Jason Alberts, officially announced his retirement from in-ring competition this week.
Oh.
Though this shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, it is good news because he's moving on to become one of the trainers at the WWE Performance Center.
Nice.
Other than being known for having a sushi menu printed on his face, what's your favorite Matt Bloom moment?
Oh. There was that one time. Yeah, there's not much I can think of. I really like Tess and Albert. That's about it.
Yeah, there was that time that he did that thing
When he won that title? No, wait, that never happened.
with that other guy, and then
Yeah.
they did this other thing.
Yeah, it'll be. He's gonna have a lot to help with those young kids out with.
And then he danced. Let's get to the rundown.
Hoo yeah!
Longer lasting than the New Nation. It's episode 164 of The Rundown. My name is Adam. I am your host, and it is Wednesday, August 13th, 2014. Joining me this week, I should have written something down, but I didn't. Andrew's here.
Thanks, I
I
think.
had one this morning, and I forgot what it was.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe next time. So,
The man who replaced the Ultimate Warrior when he died that one time.
it was a tough gig. I don't look very good in face paint. That's all I gotta say.
There you go.
So, Adam, before we get started, can I
Yes.
remind people about the survey? Is that allowed?
Yes, I was
Go-
actually going to mention it as well, but go ahead.
The survey is still up. We have received, I believe, 12 different responses, which is not bad.
I think it was seven or eight when I checked last night. So it's good
I
to see
think it
that
was
there's more
maybe.
now.
Yeah, I think there's more. Maybe I misread the number on the side, but we have quite a few. If you want to have your voice heard and give us some suggestions on what we can do to make this a podcast fit for all, head on over to the Facebook and Twitter, and there should be links there for you. It
Yes.
doesn't have a short little URL, so I can't really rattle it off.
No. Thanks, Google Docs. Yeah, so the survey's been going for a week now, and we got a number of responses, and we do appreciate all the responses that have come in. And so we are making a few tweaks to the format this week in an attempt to kind of tighten things up and make it more enjoyable for the listening audience, including such things as we're kind of shortening the rewind a bit. Hopefully that'll work, and we won't screw it up too badly. I'm gonna, just for shiggles, try not to swear, because that was a comment that someone left, that the F word does not need to be used as a comma. I give it about 6 more minutes until I accidentally say the F word. So there's that. And that apparently I break up the flow of the show too much when I just randomly start reading out the comments on the side here. So we're going to try and knock that off, which is funny because that's something I yelled at Sean for doing once. So, hey, it happens. So let's see what happens.
So
speaking of Sean and swearing, Sean says, I hope Matt Bloom hasn't retired his cock piercings. We'll see what happens. If he ever shows those on NXT, that'll be the day. Troy says, my favorite Matt Bloom moment is when WWE wasted his potential. Can you guess which time? I'm going to go Lord Tensai.
It was such a good start.
Because that was a pretty big waste, wasn't it?
It was such a good start. It had so much potential.
Remember when he beat John Cena?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I blame the fans on that one.
Briefly, let's look at the numbers, because it was complained about on the survey, but we had a really big jump on Twitter this week, so you know what? I'm doing it anyway. Facebook, up 3 to 436.
Nice.
And Twitter, up 17.
Yeah!
To 126 followers on Twitter. I think it's because one of our followers on Twitter tweeted out, follow these wrestling people, and we were in a list of like 6 people, like 3 times.
Nice.
And so everyone kept retweeting that and favoriting that, and I just followed all of them, so they just followed me back.
Nice. Good call. So,
Sean now says, I hope Matt Bloom hasn't retired his cock piercings.
Oh my God.
So, anyway.
Adam, it's new.
2.
It's improved.
It's not the rewind yet.
It's not the rewind yet.
It's official listener time.
Oh!
Because there is an update to the official listener. So, Troy, I'm glad you're here, because there's some stuff going down here. Of course, in the number 4 position, we have Nima Azar with $5 and no book purchased. Number 3, Glenn Morton, our original official listener, who has donated $10 and has bought a copy of the chapbook. And then Troy Bozen was our official listener up until this week with $15 donated and a purchase of the book. But finally, after nagging the shit out of him, see, there it was. Wasn't even 6 minutes. After nagging him for 3 weeks now, Aaron Glass, who donated $25 a couple weeks ago, finally came through in the clutch and bought 2 books. So there you go. So that's the new benchmark. 2 books. He actually ended up buying 2 because he was going to make a fake email address to buy one and then forgot, so he bought another one with the fake email address, which is
I blanking hate poetry @gmail.com.
Nope.
I believe it wasn't that? I don't remember.
The email address was I fucking hate poetry @mailchimp.com.
Oh, MailChimp. I apologize. MailChimp.
So Aaron Glass is our official listener now with $25 donated and 2 books purchased.
Well, if you want to become the official listener, I think it's only fair that you don't necessarily have to buy 2 books. You could buy 1. As long as you go over the 25. I think that'd only be fair.
All right. Making up rules on the fly here. Because I was going to say at least $26 in 2 books. But if you don't want to sell more books,
it doesn't seem ethical. All right. Speaking of, if you want, that's tinyurl.com/Distant Horizons. Onto the
yes, we're gonna do our best, because that was the other major complaint, was that you wouldn't shut the hell up about the book.
And I'm not gonna say it all until the plug.
Saving the plugs for the end of the show, because that way you can skip right past them if you want. I don't care. Sal says, wait, are my comments not getting there because I was swearing? I don't think so. I haven't seen them yet. Sean Marshall says, hell yes, in response to Aaron becoming official listener. Sal says, the rundown is awesome the way it is, except we need more Raccoon Reigns next week. And it was a better run than Daniel Bryan's title reign, says Troy. So good for you, Troy. You're taking it all in stride. Yes, one of the comments on the survey was that we need to have trivia every week.
Oh, God.
Which is difficult because there's only 2 of us. So someone needs to start an online petition to get Sean and/or Raccoon Reigns back as a regular co-host, and then we can have trivia every week.
There you go.
So yes, Aaron loved it so much I bought it twice. Certainly didn't have anything to do with the fake email address you had to create. Okay, let's move on to the Rundown Rewind.
Whoa!
In our brand new segment here, not segment.
Reimagining.
There's a word there. It's just not.
Reworking. Something.
Let's just say style.
Style, like AJ style.
No. So for the weekly shows, the only as it stands right now, based if this actually works, the only show that's going to get a full recap is the pay-per-view because not everybody watches the pay-per-views. The 2 shows that are on the network only each week are only an hour long apiece, so there's not a big deal there. So what we're doing is we're going to have results, story moments, reaction is what I'm going to call it. So like an analysis kind of thing. So NXT, Colin Cassidy and Enzo Amore defeat Ty Jordan and Jason Jordan and Ty Dillinger. That's how important they are. I can't remember the
whatever.
To advance in the Tag Team Contendership Tournament.
Okay.
CJ Parker pins Xavier Woods, Bayley pins Eva Marie, and the team of Sami Zayn and Adam Rose defeat Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel to advance in the tournament. In story moments, Adam Rose teams up with Sami Zayn to face Tyson and Justin for some odd reason and makes him suck his lollipop, and that's not a euphemism, sadly.
That was interesting.
And Tyler Breeze announces that he is ready to challenge Aaron Neville for the NXT Championship, but he still hasn't told us when.
Adrian, he means, by the way.
What did I say?
He said Aaron Neville. Words, they escape you.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah, Aaron Neville's a completely different person. Adrian Neville for the NXT Championship, but it doesn't say when. I'm still guessing September 11th. Never forget at Takeover 2 or whatever they decided. Remember a couple of weeks ago when we talked about the Eva Marie match without the crowd shit
yes,
all over?
I was.
They put it on TV.
They did. They probably didn't have anything else to fill the time.
Oh,
so
criminy.
nothing else taped.
And
so yeah, that was. They were all over her.
Was it awful?
They were all over her during that match.
As
and,
well they should have been. That was terrible.
Absolutely, I agree. It's. I give her a little bit of credit. She's trying. She's not just sitting back and saying I'm not going to go out there and wrestle. Like she's at least saying like she must be saying put me in matches because she's been out there a couple different times.
Her entrance was stupid too.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm sitting on a box.
Yeah, that was very bizarre. I mean, I do give her a little bit of credit. She might be not exactly the best diva, but she's given it the old college try.
A long shot?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think the that match in particular, and then the Adrian Neville, or not, it wasn't Adrian, it was the tag match rather. It was a good tag match at the end of the show. Like that was really good.
Right. That was my other point. I'm glad that Tyson lost again, character-wise, because it'll kind of feed into that.
Absolutely.
I wish it hadn't happened in the first round, though.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
I feel like Tyson and Justin should have taken on one of the jobber teams.
Right.
The one that the one that's on next week, which is our favorite cowboy and some other dude that nobody knows.
Right.
But and so then maybe in the second round they could have lost to Sammy and Rose, but oh well.
Yeah, I'm kind of weirded out by the Sammy and Rose tag team as it is because they had spent some time trying to push Rose on the main roster, and now all of a sudden he's going to spend a lot of time back on NXT. So I'm a little confused as to what they're kind of doing with his character right now.
And Rose apparently hurt himself too.
Oh really?
On a spot. I don't know if I can't remember if it was a diving spot off the apron onto the ramp, but like they played the music and Rose was like, I can't dance. I can't. Like he had Sammy had to hold the ropes open for him so he could get on the apron, and then he had to gingerly climb down onto the floor.
Oh wow, that's crazy. I had not heard that.
I'm guessing he just landed hard on his tailbone or something and Probably
Right.
bruised his hip up quite a bit, but it looked like he was having a little trouble standing. So,
Hmm.
also, final note: what's the point of C.J. Parker again?
I don't know. I don't hate C.J. Parker, but his gimmick is at least interesting, like somewhat. I mean, it's different. Maybe not interesting. Different's probably the better word there. It's a different gimmick, and I mean, I don't know. I just don't know where he's going to go, I guess.
And his sign, I had a spelling mistake and it was bothering me. But we talked about that via
Yeah, we
text message.
did.
On the side, Sean says, Adrian Neville, the man whose name Adam forgot. That is true. And trivia every week. Raccoon Reigns will have a game next week, bitches. Yeah, but next week is just 1 week, Raccoon.
That's true.
We want trivia all the time.
Yeah, better get on it.
All right, SmackDown. In results, Henshow defeat Rybasshole. Sin Cara pins Border Patrol agent Damian Sandow. Seth Rollins pins Dolph Ziggler. Paige makes Natalya tap out. Rusev submits Big E. And Dean Ambrose beats Randy Orton by disqualification. In story moments, Dean picks Lumberjack match as the stipulation for SummerSlam. And Seth picks Orton as Dean's opponent tonight. Jericho has the antidote for the poison that is the Wyatt Plague. Things are going to get crazy at SummerSlam. And we end the show with Dean getting the hell beaten out of him. First note, I really like the Authority's new T-shirt.
Yeah, no, I thought it was cool shirt. I like the design. I dig it.
And we have our second stupid stipulation at SummerSlam.
That's my question. My question is, like, what's your thoughts on, I mean, how do you feel in general about lumberjack matches, and why this stipulation of all things for this match?
There are so many other things they could have done there, but lumberjack matches are dumb. They're boring and fairly pointless. Because it eventually breaks down. It's the same thing every time. The heel gets tossed out on the heel side, and everybody babies him and throws him back in. The heel gets tossed out on the face side, or no, the face gets tossed out on the heel side, gets the crap kicked out of him, and thrown back.
Right.
And eventually it all breaks down, and all the lumberjacks start fighting with each other, and everything goes to chaos until finally they end up back in the ring, and one of them pins the other one, and that's the match. And it's the same thing every time. The only thing that's interesting about this one, that they're at least trying to make interesting about this one, is the fact that they're trying to play up the fact that when they were in the Shield together, they kind of made enemies out of everyone. So maybe there won't be a heel side and a face side, and the Lumberjacks will just beat the shit out of all of them. But what's the fun in that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
it defeats the purpose of them having a match. I mean, obviously it's going to extend the feud, but it's a lumberjack match where they just are continuously getting beaten up by the lumberjacks and not actually fighting with each other. That seems again a kind of shitty way to extend the feud.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of with regards to picking a lumberjack match in particular is that last time they had a match, it kind of broke out into a schmoz, and then everything kind of happened outside the ring afterwards.
Right. Last time they had a match, they didn't have a match.
Right. So maybe this time it's get them in the ring, surround them, they have nowhere to go, they're forced to have an actual wrestling match with a clear-cut winner. Maybe that's the idea.
I don't see it playing out that way, though, because of if you want to do something like that, do cage match, or do a Hell in a Cell match, or do something that
but then you gotta
lock them into fighting each other.
But then you got to pay for bring the cage in. Get that from Stanford. Just seems like a lot of work.
Sean chimes in with, I'm in favor of lumberjack matches only if they do it old school and make all the wrestlers wear flannel.
Yes.
I'm in favor of it only if they bring out Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
That would be fantastic.
Or my buddy Lumberjack.
Or he's a man.
Oh, God. Man. Oh, if the real man's man Steven Regal made a return, one night only return at SummerSlam for that, I would cry.
I would be pretty stoked.
That would be awesome. Next, Jericho. No, we got that. First the flag match, now a lumberjack match. I must point out, we might talk. I think we talk about this later. I don't remember, but there's been a severe lack of NOD 2014 this week.
I noticed it as well.
The only mention of it, and it wasn't even a mention of it, and I think, did I mention that here? I might have. is that during Hogan's birthday party, the three of them were standing together on the stage. That's the only even slight hint that this is still a thing that exists.
Right.
Apparently they fought in singles matches on the Australian tour, but that doesn't mean anything because it's Australia, and I don't know what their TV schedule is like over there. But Big E was in a singles match on SmackDown and lost. Kofi Kingston in a singles match on Main Event and lost. We'll get to that. So.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And Xavier's back fighting on NXT. So.
Right, so it doesn't make any sense. I think they had something there that they really could have developed, and they should have gone with more. And it would have been an excellent way to push 3 stars that, like you said, are losing every week. So,
right.
I don't know.
Sal chimes in with, wait. Sin Cara pinned Damian Sandow? Damn, that's harsh. That is pretty harsh.
It is pretty harsh.
And Sean wants to wish Adam Rose a speedy recovery so that he doesn't miss any time shilling Twisted Tea on Raw.
I have a quick point about SmackDown. Why Big Show and Mark Henry together?
Henshow, because they're the biggest friggin' guys on the roster, and
I mean, is that it? Is that all it is? Because
it might be.
Because it just brings to mind what I've always said about the recent era of tag teams is that they just cannot try to build a tag team by throwing 2 people together. Now, it works every once in a while, like, let's say, Slater Gator, black and roll, but I don't know. I
black and roll this week, which is kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking with Mark Henry and the Big Show, if that's going to stick around, or if one of them's going to turn on the other, or if anyone's going to care. So there's that.
Yeah, my last note from SmackDown. Someone please explain to me why anyone would watch the WrestleMania 30 network special, the replay on the network, when you can watch the whole show on the network anytime you want.
That's fair. That's fair. I think the whole concept of the special that they put on NBC is actually really just dumb in general. So I don't know.
Sean says Big Show and Mark Henry are the pounds of justice.
Ha! Fantastic.
Very nice. Very nice.
All right.
You got anything else from SmackDown?
I only had one other small note. We saw Natty on SmackDown, which I thought was interesting because she's been spending all of her time on NXT. I guess my question is she better served on the main roster or on the NXT roster, in your opinion?
At this point, I'm going to say NXT.
Okay.
Because with Paige and AJ, there's not much for her to do on the main roster right now.
Right.
Plus, in NXT are the divas who can actually wrestle, mostly. So she's better down there. Kind of, she can be like she can work with Sarah Del Rey and kind of get them
right
to a place where they can actually put on good TV show matches on the main roster. So I think I have no issue with her being in NXT at this point.
I don't either, but I mean, it is kind of weird that she is so accomplished and she's spending her time on that show. But I guess if you put it that way, that makes a lot of sense.
So we move on to Raw, where Roman Reigns defeated Rybassel by disqualification, then beat the crap out of them. Seth Rollins pinned RVD. Swagger made Cesaro tap out. Eva Marie pinned AJ. Thanks to Paige's distraction.
They could use any other diva.
Yeah. Heath Slater beat Dolph Ziggler by countout thanks to The Miz. And Randy Orton pinned Sheamus. Paul Heyman runs down Brock's history of domination, then reads us a poem, and it was amazing. If you haven't seen it, find it. He threatens chaos later after they go out and have dinner. John Cena later cuts a promo full of yelling. Brock then returns to try and ruin Hogan's birthday party. John sadly stops this from happening. We also saw the return of Corporate Kane. Dean Ambrose jumped out of a present and chased Seth out of the building. Steph's confession is that Daniel Bryan's physical therapist was sleeping with him, including a visit from the physical therapist.
Yeah, about that.
And Bree gets arrested for slapping said physical therapist. And a one-on-one interview with Jericho and Wyatt that might mark Wyatt's best move in wrestling thus far, telling Michael Cole to leave 5 seconds into the interview. Now,
Absolutely.
am I the only one who thinks that the main event of a go-home episode of your flagship show, especially when it's before a major pay-per-view, should actually, I don't know, involve the people that are actually fighting on the pay-per-view and not a bunch of guys who, though they may be legends or icons in their own right, couldn't take a bump without breaking a hip?
I've got two answers for you.
Okay.
Number one, it did, because you have Brock Lesnar and John Cena.
No. Here's why that doesn't count. Because they didn't do anything. Brock Lesnar came out, stared at Hulk Hogan, John Cena ran out, and Brock Lesnar left.
Right, and I think
that doesn't count.
It counts enough because they're trying to prove and show that they're trying to be non-confrontational. They're trying to save it for SummerSlam.
He should have at least F5 to Jimmy Hart.
Oh, God. Poor Jimmy. He's probably in the best shape of all the people in there. Did you notice in that segment, by the way, that Paul Orndorff looked completely lost? Like, he looked like senility is like really, really hitting him.
Because didn't he come to like halfway down the ramp and then go back up to make out with Ava Marie and then go back to
right? Yeah. That was odd.
That was weird.
It was a really that wasn't really his theme music before, was it? Because it was a really odd theme song too. He's wonderful. Yeah, that was a little bizarre. But and two, I guess my second answer to your quandary here is I know why they did it. I don't agree with it, but I know why they did it. They want to promote the network.
Yes,
which, by the way,
Hulk Hogan's birthday bash being nothing but a giant shill for the network was really shitty.
You know, it's interesting that the fans are reacting in the way that they are. They almost are embracing the shilling. Like, I saw a sign that said Network 999, like kind of like an Austin 316, and I thought that was the most hilarious thing.
I actually had a discussion with someone about this on Twitter after Raw, which amazed me because it was a discussion on Twitter where the other person did not devolve into calling me a retard, which is what usually happens on Twitter.
Right, yeah, usually does.
This guy and I were talking about how selling the network is the same as selling the pay-per-view. Which it's not, because the pay-per-view is an event that is available on the network, but selling the network is not going to make people want to watch the pay-per-view. Selling the pay-per-view might make people want to watch the network, but that's not what they're doing. They are selling the network in the hopes that people will order it to watch the pay-per-view.
See, what they should be doing is, I agree with you. What they should be doing is they should be doing a better job to promote the matches for the pay-per-view event that makes people want to spend the money to go out and watch the event and get the network.
Right.
However,
which is what Hulk Hogan's birthday bash does not do.
No, but what they also need to do in a far more subtler way is they need to have, and this is something that I think JR had mentioned even on his podcast, I'm going to kind of rehash it a little bit, that if you're going to get people to get excited about the network, have the actual superstars promote the network in a not in a like a so blatant way, but like, you know, do like a little segment where, like, you know, once a week where it's like a wrestler's favorite wrestling moment, and then show a clip from a pay-per-view event, and then just have like a little logo or like a 5-second thing that says you can watch this on the network. You know, promote it more subtly.
Do it during a commercial break.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Don't make it part of the main show, because if you make it part of the main show, you end up with Santino and Adam Rose selling Twisted Tea.
Right, and you get so many you get so many talk segments already on wrestling that you don't need it, right? I mean, you could better spend that time filling it with wrestling that makes people excited about the product.
Right. Sal says no physical contact between Cena and Lesnar was done on purpose, so it builds the anticipation, like when they do weigh-ins at UFC.
Right.
I'm not saying that I needed John Cena and Brock Lesnar to fight each other at the end of Monday Night Raw to sell the pay-per-view. I'm saying give me something at the end of Raw, or like the main event of Raw. Give me a Teddy Long special. Give me Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and let's say Chris Jericho versus Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, and Seth Rollins. Give me something like that, that where at least there are people in the main event who you will see at SmackDown,
right,
and not Mean Gene Okerlund, Jimmy Hart, Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Paul Orndorff, Ric Flair.
Yeah.
None of whom are going to be doing anything at some.
Have you noticed like how heavily they're trying to make this feel like UFC in the way that they're promoting this fight?
Yeah.
It's an odd strategy, and I don't know. What's your take on it? Is this strategy working to build the hype? Because I think honestly, I care less about this match than I really wanted to care. Like I really wanted WWE to sell me this match.
We'll actually get into something kind of related to that in a little bit in the news, but it is certainly an homage with these kind of hype videos that are and I was actually listening to a podcast earlier that was talking about this. The very dark single camera interview where only half the face is lit up and the other half is in shadow, and they're just talking about each other to an off-screen entity, to no one in particular. So and it is an interesting thing, and it's certainly something that they need to do because Brock Lesnar is not going to compete on Raw every week ever.
Right.
So so there's that. And it is, given Lesnar's UFC career, his history with mixed martial arts, it is certainly something that kind of makes sense for this. I don't want to call it a feud, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get it.
My only complaint is that in Brock Lesnar's little interview video, he says, "If I had stayed around, there would be no John Cena. Why did you have to leave?" Anyway.
You're such an ass. Sean has a comment on the side that I want to go to real quick because I had this actually written on my thing for Raw. Heyman and Page both recited poems on Monday. Perhaps their rundown listeners inspired by the chapbook. My point exactly, that, hey, the people that bitch about the fact that poetry has no place in wrestling, guess what? That's two in the flagship show.
Here was the discussion that Sean and I had over Page's poem. Roses are red, wood chips are beige. I'm sorry I threw you off of the stage.
Like where?
You know what else rhymes with stage that doesn't have to be as much of a stretch as wood chips are beige?
Enlighten me.
You know what else rhymes with stage? Your name.
Oh yeah.
Roses are red.
My name is
Paige. I'm sorry I threw you off the stage.
Oh, that's some bad writing, right? I wonder if she wrote her own poem or if it was someone in the back.
And beige doesn't even rhyme with stage because it's
wood chips are beige. What? It must be a Britishism or something. Like the way that she says it makes it rhyme. Oh God.
Sean also says, I agree with Adam. The final segment of the Go Home Raw should involve the participants in the main event of SummerSlam. You heard it here first, folks. Adam wants Hulk Hogan added to the Brock Cena match this Sunday. Only because it would literally kill him.
Oh, I would say if that happens, I want Hogan to win.
You want to see someone murder the network.
Anyway. You would. Can you imagine how much that would pull people to the network right there?
They're like, Hulk Hogan
defeated John Cena and Brock Lesnar. It'd be amazing.
All right. Sheamus versus Orton was better than it had any right to be.
How long was that match? Because I watched the Hulu version.
I don't know, but
it was cut down to 2 5-minute segments, and that's it. That's all I saw.
I don't know, but if you remember the last time they had a match on Raw.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And
that was the fans' fault because that's because
it with such ferociousness.
Which was stupid because that original match they crapped all over was a good match, and this one was again a good match because no matter what you say, both of these people are good wrestlers. So yeah, I don't know. But the network. Or the Hulu version didn't give me very much of it, so I don't even know.
Right. I do feel like the Dean in a box was a bit too obvious.
Yeah.
Especially when they played it up that Seth knew he was in there. I'm like, well, now it's obvious he's in there.
Yeah, it would have been better.
The way that they did it, it would have been better if he hadn't been in the box, because Seth was freaking out over this huge box on the stage. So it would have been better if he had torn the box open and there was nothing in the box.
Nothing there, yeah. And he comes out from the stage. Behind. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see that segment. They cut that one out of the Hulu version as well, that whole match and segment. So I missed the peekaboo moment. I did see, however, the tag match, or the 2-on-1 match rather, and I do have to ask, what is up with Ryback's like faded heart singlet? Like, what was that? That was really bizarre.
I don't know.
I don't know, but I do have to say, it was good for the referee to uphold the rules in that match. Like he's like, if you throw him into that, we're disqualified, and he did, and he disqualified him.
Right.
You never see that anymore.
Right.
Also, I saw a sign that said, "When it rains, it pours," and that's just gross.
I am about to utter a phrase. I am about to utter a phrase on this podcast that should never be said in the year 2014. Heath Slater is on a winning streak.
It's awesome. That is so amazing. I've always kind of been a Heath Slater fan. Like, I always thought that he was better than most people gave him credit for.
Yeah,
even if he had his Wendy's tits.
He was the only member of 3MB that stuck around. So they've got to have some sort of plan for him.
Right. No, absolutely. And it's good to see him win. Actually, it's kind of nice. While other people like Sandow and others are losing to people like Sin Cara. Sean's comment on the side. I gotta pipe in. It's my Dean in a box.
It's my Dean in a box. Yes.
Yeah. Good time.
Step 1. Hole in the box. Step 2.
Oh my God. So,
put your Dean in that box. My last note on Raw, and I promised that I wasn't going to swear on this program, but I did it already. So my last comment on Raw: fuck Eva Marie.
I agree. I don't know why it had to be her, unless the WWE is really trying to like at least throw her a bone after how awful the fans were in her last match. But yeah, I could do without her.
The only thing that I can think of for why they had Eva Marie as the one to go over AJ Lee before SummerSlam, thanks to Paige, is they were like, you know what's gonna make them want to watch this Divas title match at SummerSlam? Let's have the champion get distracted and lose to the worst diva on the roster.
Yeah, it's pretty true. It's pretty true.
No one is safe from the distraction of your future opponent's music playing at a random interval for no reason whatsoever.
Never, absolutely not. My last point is during that interesting Wyatt Jericho promo, which I thought was one of the best promos I've seen in a long time. That interview segment. I thought it was extremely well produced. It was psychologically well done. I don't know. What were your thoughts on that interview? Did that sell you on that match?
The first thought I had in that interview was that Jericho looked like he'd eaten some bad Taco Bell. Because the faces he was pulling were not faces of concern over what his opponent was saying, and they weren't faces of distress. Well, not distress, but they weren't faces of fear over the weird shit that the other guy's pulling out. The faces to me were, I'm about to shit my pants.
Really? They better cut this promo short.
Trying hard not to shit my pants. It was, but it was a great little one-on-one interview. I love by the way, the misleading graphic if you're watching Raw on mute that just showed Bray Wyatt and Chris Jericho and said one-on-one on the bottom.
Yeah, that's a little misleading. It's a problem for deaf mutes. I did have. There's one other comment.
They'll read about it in the newsletter.
Yeah, there's there's one other comment from the interview. Wyatt at one point says that he has the key to the universe, and all I could think of was, someone tell Stardust, like right now, like let him know he's got the freaking key.
To finish off Raw, Sean chimes in with roses are red, wood chips are beige, jobbed to Eva Marie, and that's much worse than AIDS.
Oh man, that's bad. Yeah. Which Sal says, well done. All right, so shall we move on now?
That brings us to main event.
Main event it.
Seth Rollins pins Kofi Kingston, and the Usos retain in a triple threat tag team title match when Jimmy pins Rob Van Dam. Story moments really Rybasshole accept the open challenge, but so does RVD. His mystery partner is Sheamus for some unknown reason.
Because tag team!
And Kane plays the Teddy Long and makes it a triple threat for later in the evening, and the Usos retain. If it had been, if the Usos, in that particular match, if the Usos had not retained, I would have been mad.
Yeah.
But, yeah. The only note I have from main event was Ryback calling RVD a feed me moron. It was kind of funny.
That's nice.
Kind of funny.
Nice touch.
All right. Which brings us
to listener mail?
That's correct.
Yeah.
I just have to find it. Hang on. Rundown. This one. Make sure my volume's up. It is. Okay.
Hey, yo. This is Tommy Malpasanti coming to you from the Maverick Tea Stop in East Boston because I got to go take the tea down to my tanning salon and get a nice little tan for the summer. It might be raining today, but I still need to get my tan on. Anyways, I want to take a survey with you rundown guys. Now, how many of you think Daniel Bryan has been faithful to Brie Bella during their marriage? And how many of you think Daniel Bryan was giving the physical therapist the sausage kid? You know what I'm saying? One more for the good guys. Bada bing, bada boom, bada best for Bryan. How about that one, huh? And since Adam won't say it anymore, I'll say it now. Jacob Goodnight and Good Booze and Fawn, Don, go on and get out of here.
See, the problem with Daniel Bryan cheating on Brie Bella
is that it's not believable at all.
Is that she would be able to either see or smell the evidence in his beard. I'm just saying. That's going to happen. So she's going to know. He's going to miss a spot with that beard.
That's so gross. What does this show come to?
Oh, my favorite human being alive. I love that guy. I vote. Raise the hands. How many of you think that guy Daniel Bryan is being faithful to his wife? All right, that's 2-0. All right, so there you go. There you go. Any more listener mail, or was that it?
Was that on the Hulu version?
The segment with yeah, of course they put that on there, but they didn't put like 3 wrestling matches, and they cut the good match between Randy Orton down. So
stupid, so stupid.
Yeah.
Can't even get over how stupid that is. So let's move to the rundown showdown.
Let's do it.
Second semifinal match. The winner of this match faces Edge in the finals.
I'm still in mourning.
Of the rundown showdown. By the way, send your suggestions for future showdown topics to rundownwrestling@gmail.com. I'm trying to assemble a list now for worst Raw segments ever.
Nice.
My list, I don't have a full tournament field yet, but I do have 6 entries so far. So,
nice.
So submit those. If they're multiples of the ones that I already have on the list, then that means I'm doing things right. So let's get to the comments here. Triple H versus Psycho Sid. Triple H battled through a leg injury. Psycho Sid cried like a newborn baby. Oh my God. Triple H also wrestled alongside. You got it, X-Pac.
Oh God.
He's the game, hands down. Watch him make a dookie in his tights during WrestleMania 13 on the WWE Network for the low price of $9.99. I voted for Triple H because I have no idea who that other guy is. Also, the spelling of his name annoys me. They are both always wet.
That's true, actually.
Because he's the game, the cerebral assassin, and because he married the boss's daughter. Long live the King of Kings, Triple H may have lost to Undertaker 3 times, but he never shit in Undertaker's face, and he is a big guy.
Big
Triple
guy.
H is a better wrestler. Sid is big. That's not enough. Triple H has had a long career. Not even Trip can stop the shit from the ruler of the world. CEO, he's not the CEO, he's the COO, versus the master and ruler of the world. Psycho Skid wins. This one has odd quotation marks. It says, he shit his pants. This one just says, book Sid. Did you know there's a rumor that Shawn Michaels once brought 3 hot chicks up to his hotel room, had them strip and get on their knees? He then proceeded to piss on all 3 of them. Anyway, I voted for Triple H.
Oh, that's an interesting rumor.
Because fuck Paul Levesque, that's why. How did Sid ever make it this far?
That's a good point. He was actually not even in the original rundown. He was one of the 2 voted in from the bottom 5, and he's made it all the way this far. He's the underdog of the Rundown Showdown.
Do it for your best friend.
That was me.
Longer tenure, thumbs up for screwing the boss's daughter. I want to see Triple H versus Michaels. Oh, wait, HBK lost. Well, Triple H wins anyway. So, by a margin.
God damn it.
With a total of 67 to 33. Your winner. Moving on to face Edge in the finals is... That's the worst drum roll ever.
I'm a lot of energy, sorry.
Triple H moving on to the finals.
Triple H.
To face Edge next week. That is your final match in the Rundown Showdown Undertaker's best opponent.
Did Edge and Triple H ever have a rivalry? Did they ever have a program together? I can't think of.
I don't think so.
I can't think of one, honestly.
I don't think so.
Interesting.
Troy says, I was worried you wouldn't read my HBK comment. Honestly, Troy, I thought that was Sean's, and that's why I read it. We got some
Sounds
ideas.
like a Sean comment. Let's clear a few of these out. Sean says, Daniel Bryan puts the rapist in physical therapist appointment.
Didn't happen. A couple of suggestions for next time. Sean says, worst Raw segment ever, Mae Young gives birth to a hand. And the contest is over. That's on my list, I assure you.
I like that segment.
Oh, what the hell is wrong with you?
Because I thought it was hilarious.
Oh, Jesus. That was a segment, I don't know if you know, the truth behind that segment was that is a segment that was on TV that the only purpose for that segment was to make Gerald Briscoe throw up.
That's awesome. That is so amazing.
Sal says, worst Raw segment, anything involving the Bellas talking. That certainly might be true.
Yeah. What about Katie Vick?
I'm
Is that in there?
that one for, what's that?
Is Katie Vick on your list?
Damn straight Katie Vick is on the list. All right. Which brings us to the news this week.
Let's do it.
We mentioned last week, that Ricardo Rodriguez. So this is kind of a follow-up to that story. Well, most of the recent WWE cuts have been made by the company. Turns out Ricardo Rodriguez actually asked for his release. According to the Wrestling Observer, Rodriguez asked for his release because he was frustrated with not being used as a wrestler. Just let that sink in for a second. As you may recall, Rodriguez noted in his tweet announcing his release that he, quote, misses wrestling. The reasons WWE didn't use Rodriguez as much were twofold. First, he had been working as El Local and teamed up with Kalisto in NXT, but when he got injured, Sin Cara got that spot because what the fuck, one masked guy doesn't make a goddamn difference. Second, the company had issues with his weight and set a weight goal for him that he had difficulty holding to. Rodriguez was under not only a talent contract, but an announcer contract as well. His talent contract had just 2 weeks left when he asked for his release, and the budget cuts meant that a 3-man Spanish announce team was too much. So his role with the company was looking minimal as it was.
I don't think it's so much the weight that matters, it's the ability. He was not good. He just wasn't very good at all.
Fat luchador.
Fat luchador. So I don't know. I'm okay. I'm okay with him being gone. He hasn't, like you said, he hasn't done anything.
He
So
really hasn't. Since they broke him up with Alberto and put him with RVD for reasons that no one ever understood and were never explained.
and never followed up with either.
Except maybe they just both smoke pot all the time. I'm not sure.
That could be.
Sorry. Sean said, is Draws Murdering Hawk on the list of worst segments? It is now, my friend. I'll add that to the list.
Good times. Shall we wash this?
Next.
Wash-a-sha-sha!
Speaking of releases.
Oh.
This one surprised me, even. Mark Yeaton was released from his WWE contract this week.
Who's that?
I was going to say, you may not recognize that gentleman by name, but you have certainly seen him on TV many, many times. And he played an integral role in the Attitude Era. Mark Yeaton worked as the timekeeper and in the production team. So he's the guy who rang the bell.
Okay.
And has been with the company for decades.
Oh, wow.
He was the dude with the laser arm that would throw the beers to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, man.
The fact that he was released is being viewed as a sign that the company's budget cuts could affect anyone and that no one is safe.
They better not bring Stone Cold back for anything, because, man, the new guy's just going to beat him in the head.
Beers.
Exactly. That's, oh, boy. Sean's comment says,
I know it breaks up the flow of the show, but goddamn it, he jams it with these funny shit.
He says, will the RVD Sheamus tag team be called Tater Pot? Oh, that's awesome.
It will be now. I was just going to call them Fields of Green, but Tater Pot works so much better.
Careful, Sean. You're going to give WWE ideas.
Oh, Christ. Tater Pot. So thank you, Mark Yeaton, for years and 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 years of ringing that bell at ringside and throwing beers to Stone Cold Steve Austin. You will be missed.
I miss him already.
Next!
Oh, wash-a-sha!
As has been reported across the wrestling-related parts of the internet for a couple of weeks now, we talked about it ourselves. Spike TV decided at one point they did not want to renew their contract with TNA to air Impact Wrestling. While there have been several reasons speculated, am I talking to myself right now?
I think you froze.
Yeah, there we go.
Hello? Okay.
Yeah. While there have been several reasons speculated as to why this is the case, WrestleZone reports that the primary TV wanted to buy 10% of TNA.
10%?
The site adds that Dixie Carter declined that offer, which led to reports that the two companies may be parting ways. The site adds that the Vince Russo situation was not the deal breaker, as previously rumored, and in fact it was the attempt to gain partial ownership of the company, which led to the problems between the problems in negotiations.
You know, it's
if Spike TV.
Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
If Spike TV and TNA fail to reach a new TV agreement, Impact Wrestling probably wouldn't be pulled immediately after the deal expires. Spike would keep working with TNA on a temporary basis as they find a new home for the show. Even if TNA and Spike don't re-sign, TNA won't go out of business as they have overseas contracts footage to fulfill.
So, you know, if I remember correctly, doesn't Spike own like a % of like the UFC stuff?
You were saying.
Oh, hello?
There you are. Yeah, sorry, I just blanked out again. I heard you say something about the UFC.
Yeah, you're completely frozen on my screen, so hope we don't lose you here. But is it true that Spike owns like a percentage of like the UFC stuff that they air?
I don't think it's UFC because UFC is on a different channel now. You may.
Oh, okay.
You may be thinking.
I think I lost you. Good times. We'll have to edit this out. You there, buddy? He may still be talking, and I might be talking over him in the recording right now. I have no idea. Hold on, fans. We have technical difficulties, and I think Adam is good and lost. We're not starting over because it's daylight still a little bit, and I wanted to go for a run before we're done. But I don't hear Adam at all. Anyone on the side, do you hear Adam, or do you hear me, or do you not hear me? Anyone know? Okay. Maybe I'll pause this recording. Okay, let's see. Hello, Adam. Where are you? Can you hear us at all, Sean? I can kind of draw Howard Finkel, maybe. Let me message Adam. Oh, you can hear me. Well, that's something. It's because of the new format. That is that's got to be it. The internet's like, what are you doing? Forget this crap. Oh God. Ay. Come on, Adam. You know what it is? It's Adam's lack of a good computer, and he needs something that's not a Mac. So, oh, burn. I wonder if we're going to restart this. Aaron, that's great. Deaf and mute. Good times. I'm just going to sit here and interact with the people on the side. Let's see, because it's a new format. There's that SummerSlam one, only Andy. Deaf and mute, sorry. We can hear Andy, but not Adam. Kill some time by reading. Oh, chat book. Where'd my chat? Okay, chat book. Here we go. Oh my God. All right, you ready? Here we go. Whew. Roses are red. You ready? Roses are red. Bark is beige. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my God. Where is Adam? I could totally take over. Of course, I paused the recording. Oh, there's the text from Adam. He's gonna say, "What the fuckity fuck?" He says, "This is why I need a new computer." I don't know if you can see it on my dumb phone. Nope, probably not. But he says that on there somewhere. You can't read it on my dumb phone because it's dumb. There, it kind of slanted. Oh. This is why I need a new computer. All right. Good job there. Good job there. Well, Sean, just because you're on a Mac doesn't mean that it's a 10-year-old Mac, I suppose, like Adam's. So there is that at least. I can't even get rid of these comments on the side. I have no control. But they keep disappearing. So I don't know why that is. That's kind of odd. I'll just use this moment to once again promote. Head over to @ShadowVaneCast. We're still live, but we're waiting on people to join the video call. @ShadowVaneCast on Twitter, shadowvane.net. I actually technically posted the first episode, which actually features Adam's wife doing some of the readings. So it's a short little 5-minute introduction. If you're curious, it'll be officially posted on the website tomorrow. If you're really curious, you can go to shadowvane.podomatic.com. Check it out over there. Yeah, that's about it. We'll be releasing our first full episode in October. There is a rundown logo. That is progress. He was gone. He's back. He's kind of here. I see him. He is moving slowly but surely.
You remember that thing I said about needing a new computer?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Good times.
So we have to find an edit point now.
Yeah, I
We
paused
cut-
I paused my recording. I'm still paused.
That's good.
So
I should do that too.
Adam's
cut out the
computer is a
last.
Commodore 64. That's fantastic.
My computer is made of twine and bits of string,
That is fantastic.
which are the same thing if you think about it too hard. But let's try not to think about it too hard.
I try not to think at all, honestly.
What's this here? All right, I'm going to go there, and we're going to start over with the second part of the story about Spike TV.
I'm just gonna unpause mine, so you're gonna have to.
Yeah.
You may have to do a little bit of editing.
I'm going to have
with
to edit
the
out about
part.
7 minutes.
Yeah.
Yay! Fun times. What up, bitches?
Let me know when to hit the record. Or should I start now? Should I go back?
Not yet. Hang on.
Okay.
I'm still getting my Q&A back together and doing all this horse shit. All right. Did you at least see? Was I at least clearing out questions? Because I was sitting there. clicking
Yeah,
on
yeah. Like questions kept disappearing, and I was really confused.
That was
I was like, "What is making that do that?"
That was me. Sean, if I had a cartoon picture of Howard Finkel that said technical difficulties, I wouldn't have been able to display it anyways because it was fucking frozen, so it doesn't even matter.
All right. Well, I'll have to get one just in case because your computer's the one that always takes shits. So
It's because I need a new one. I'm gonna start an Indiegogo. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe, and you fuckers will send me money so I can buy a computer.
good times. I
Yes,
can tell you one of my old ones.
My computer didn't actually shut down. It just the Google Hangout decided it just didn't like me anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and completely fucking shit the bed.
Adam's computer was shut down because he forgot to type C:\DOS\run. Good times.
All right.
Sean also says only $9.99. Tell me when I can hit unpause and we'll get started.
All right. Take 2. 3, 2, 1. If Spike TV and TNA fail to reach a new TV agreement, Impact Wrestling probably wouldn't be pulled immediately after the deal expires. Spike would keep working with TNA on a temporary basis as they find a home for the show. Even if TNA and Spike don't re-sign, TNA won't go out of business as they have overseas contracts to fulfill and have to shoot footage to fulfill those obligations. So apparently there's going to be some sort of working deal where, if TNA doesn't find another outlet immediately, they'll still have a time slot. So that's interesting. But
I'm experiencing deja vu.
I was trying to be all nice and clean about it, and you guys mentioned that my computer trapped the bed, and we had to.
It's because I'm an ass. Yeah, I like I've said last week, I want TNA to do well. I want it to at least be an option out there for people to be able to work. Because God knows WWE doesn't have the money to bring in talent that need jobs. So, yeah, I hope that they do eventually come to some sort of agreement. Maybe if you do, I will find a way to watch an episode. It'll probably be illegally and won't count toward anything, but I will find a way to watch an episode. If you make the deal happen, make it happen. I know you're listening, Dixie. I know you're running around rubbing your butt against people.
I feel like though that they should not have poo-pooed the idea of Spike buying a percentage of the company so quickly. That might actually be a good idea.
No, absolutely.
Because I mean the Carter family and Panda Energy have already, invested so much. So let someone else take at least a piece of the load for a while.
I like that it's Panda Energy. Like they have to steal from the WWE like there because like pandas took over the WWF and made it the WWE, so they have to have pandas too. It's just
something like that.
Something like that. Frickin' World Wildlife Foundation. I must make WWF.
Yes. Next.
Wah-sha-sha.
In news that I broke on Facebook news,
Breaking news. That's my
Except
breaking
not
news.
really breaking news, but still. WWE announced this week that
He
Alberto
retweeted.
Del Rio had
Sorry.
been released.
That makes me so sad.
The short statement on .com reads, WWE announced the release of Alberto Del Rio due to unprofessional conduct and an altercation with an employee. Del Rio, real name Alberto Rodriguez. Well, that's a bit of irony, isn't it?
That is.
Has been with WWE since June of 2010, made his debut on the main roster on June 25th, winning the WWE title twice and the World Heavyweight title twice. The first report was that at catering, somebody asked a person to clean off his plate. This is the person that Del Rio slapped. Somebody asked that person to clean off his plate. The person joked something along the lines of how that's Del Rio's job. Del Rio found out about these comments and confronted the person. When the person refused to apologize, Del Rio then slapped him in the face.
To be fair, I would have done the same thing.
WWE's official Twitter account posted the following, quote, "At Viva Del Rio is responsible for his own actions. If you're angry at anyone, be angry at Alberto. There's no excuse for a pro athlete not to conduct themselves in a professional manner."
Wow.
Which may have something to do, the rather brusque tone of the tweets may have something to do with the fact that the man who was slapped was the social media manager for WWE.
Oh, God.
We can actually skip that because that was a conspiracy theory. That was all a work, which it's not. So Del Rio was fired after slapping WWE social media manager Cody Barbieri in the face. Barbieri again allegedly made a racist comment regarding Del Rio. Del Rio found out. He refused to apologize. At this time, Barbieri is still employed by WWE.
That's stupid.
Many backstage were upset to see Del Rio be released, but in the past, many have been critical of Del Rio due to him having a cocky and negative attitude. Over the last year, Del Rio has stated in several interviews that he was looking to leave WWE once his deal is up. At this time, there is a lot of speculation as to where Del Rio will end up. There's not speculation anymore. Many feel, actually, we'll just skip to this, it didn't take him long to find another job. AAA announcer Arturo Rivera posted to Twitter this week to announce that Del Rio will be debuting this Sunday at AAA Triple Mania 22.
Awesome.
It had been reported for a while that he was considering returning to AAA once his contract expired. Triple Mania will air on iPay-per-view opposite SummerSlam, and with the 90-day no-compete clause that Del Rio probably has, there's a bit of curiosity as to how exactly that will work.
Right.
But yeah, so Alberto Del Rio slapped a social media manager in the face and got fired for it.
I think it's kind of garbage that guy still has his job.
That was a comment that a lot of people made, but you have to realize that I'm sure there was some sort of in-house, punishment system in place. It may not have resulted in a firing, but I'm sure there was some sort of sanctions brought down on his end. It's just that Del Rio got released because he actually struck someone.
Right. It doesn't make the actions of this guy any better, but at the same time, I don't know. I just feel like if you're gonna punish one person, punish them both of equal. You don't want to be seen as soft on racism in this day and age because that's just not cool.
Right, and again, it's not to say that Barbieri wasn't punished. It's just that his punishment did not involve him being let go.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with.
But
I don't agree with his whatever his punishment might be. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was bad. I have no idea. But still kind of stinks. I love Del Rio. As you know, I was Del Rio's only fan.
Yep.
It made me really sad. About as sad as when I heard about Robin Williams this week.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Dead air.
It was a moment of silence, you asshole.
Oh, sorry.
It says, Troy
You didn't
says,
tell me it was a moment of silence.
be a pedophile commentator, no worries. Kill your girlfriend, no problem. Slap a computer geek, get fired.
That is true. Double, triple standards. I don't know what to call it.
Who killed his girlfriend?
Jimmy Fly Snuka or whatever.
That wasn't his girlfriend. That was a hooker. She probably deserved it.
Aha!
Next!
Oh, sha.
With a coconut. The angle from Raw, in which Stephanie
damn.
McMahon brought out Daniel Bryan's physical therapist to claim she was having an affair with him, caused Claire Lynch to trend on Twitter. As you may recall or have likely completely forgotten, Claire Lynch was a member of an angle in 2012 in TNA that saw Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian accusing AJ Styles of carrying on an affair with Dixie Carter, which led to a series of events culminating in a woman named Claire Lynch coming in and accusing Styles of being the father of her child. The payoff to that angle, as I recall, is that the woman was completely full of shit and something with a baby doll. I'm not sure.
Did he get punted by another wrestler?
One can only hope. The woman who played the physical therapist was indie wrestler Chelsea Green, who trained under Lance Storm and wrestles in Canada and the Pacific Northwest. Apparently, Lance Storm does not teach acting at his wrestling school.
Well, it is Lance Storm. Have you not seen the man?
If I could be serious for a moment.
It's fundamentals, darn it. It's none of that acting stuff. She can put a hell of a headlock. Ask Daniel Bryan.
God, that was terrible. Terrible.
She's really good with the leg scissors.
Terrible. That might be the worst part of Raw, and Eva Marie pinned AJ.
Yeah, I'll grant you that. I will indeed grant you that.
Tisk. Motherfucking tisk.
That's 2 tisks.
Next.
Ooh-wah-sha-sha.
As of this week, TNA has completed taping all of the episodes of Impact Wrestling scheduled to air under the company's current contract with Spike TV. As has been mentioned many times before, the current deal ends on the last week of September. TNA put a hold on the Manhattan Center for Impact Wrestling tapings later in September. However, TNA reportedly wants to make a strategy for the tapings before those shows are announced. One-night-only pay-per-views could be taped for those shows. Excuse me. The Impact Wrestling tapings on August 7th reportedly drew the highest attendance for the 6 tapings that were held at the venue by TNA this summer. The August 7th taping was reportedly a sold-out show.
Wow.
So they've booked I'm assuming the Manhattan Center. Yeah, as it says Manhattan Center.
Right.
I took English class. I have reading comprehension. So they've booked the Manhattan Center for later on in September, but they've already filmed everything that they're going to need for the current contract. If they don't get renewed, do you think there's a chance that they move back to the weekly pay-per-views?
I don't know. That could be interesting. I don't know if they'll. I don't know. That was. I mean, how long ago was that?
Oh God, that was. Jeez. I don't remember. That was a long time ago.
Was that like long before Spike and all that?
Oh yeah, because they've been on Spike TV forever. They were on Fox Sports Net for a year or two.
Oh yeah, I remember them being there. Yeah.
And before that was the weekly pay-per-views.
How well did that do for them?
Well enough that they got a deal on Fox Sports Net.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, do you even remember how much that would cost?
I believe they were $10 a piece.
Yeah, I don't know if I.
So you'd have 4 pay-per-views in a month, $10 a piece. You'd spend $40 on the 4 pay-per-views as opposed to spending at that point $35 on one.
See, if they go back to that route, all WWE yeah, WWE has to do is say, do you want 1 week of Impact Wrestling for $9.99, or our entire backlog and future events for $9.99, and then they'd be buried. So I think it'd be the one time that WWE would actually mention their competition live.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, probably not. But still, I don't know. I don't think it's a good idea personally. I just don't see people spending that kind of money on something that, if it was before when it didn't have a lot of exposure, I think there's kind of a mystique to it.
Right.
But now that people know what it's like, I don't know if they would shove out that kind of money.
Now that they know how terrible it's been over the past 6, 8, 12 months.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Between that and the report, that Spike is going to kind of hang on to them, or at least give them a home until they find something else, if they don't find something else. I don't know if they just do a series of one-night-only pay-per-views at the Manhattan Center, or if they actually tape future programming. What are you giggling at?
I'm just thinking, like, that statement about how, they'll let them kind of stay there. It's that kind of thing where it's like, hey, I don't have a place to stay. Can I just stay with you for one night? And it turns into, like, 5 months.
TNA couch surfing.
Yes. That's what we'll call their events from now on. TNA presents couch surfing. Watch your show!
2K Games officially announced the details for WWE's 2K15's
Yay.
2K Showcase mode. Shut up. A new story-driven single-player campaign for the upcoming WWE video game, similar to last year's 30 Years of WrestleMania and the year before's Attitude Era mode. This year, the game mode will highlight two prolific rivalries in WWE history: Triple H versus Shawn Michaels from 2002 to 2004, and John Cena versus CM Punk from 2011 to 2013. 2K VP of Marketing Chris Snyder said, quote, "The moment Triple H ended his longtime friendship with the Heartbreak Kid by slamming him with a pedigree was a defining moment in WWE history. No fan can deny the fierce competition marking the notorious battles waged by Cena and Punk. These two rivalries are firmly etched in WWE history, and 2K Showcase enables fans to take part in these memorable experiences," unquote. According to the release, 2K Showcase will highlight the rivalries through documentary-style video packages featuring actual footage, superstar commentary, and cutscenes. The game modes for the rivalries will feature 33 available matches where players have to complete a set of bonus historical objectives in order to unlock new superstars, title belts, and alternate attires, as per usual. I lost my place. There it is. Once these are unlocked, they will be available in all other game modes. To fans who might be disappointed with these being the two rivalries for story mode, there is some good news. 2K Games plans on incorporating additional rivalries to 2K Showcase later on. The new rivalries will be available as downloadable content after the game's initial release. So if you're scratching your head over the inclusion of Triple H versus Shawn Michaels over Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart, well, maybe that feud could be incorporated later on.
I hate downloaded content.
Well, you're wrong.
So dumb.
WWE executive Triple H.
Because I want to pay $60 per game and then another like 70 on it, like down the road. Because I'm like, oh, I must have this colored tutu for my Alexa Bliss character I downloaded last week.
Well, that's dumb, but yeah, you don't pay. Not paying for, paying for it. I'm okay with paying for additional characters and things like this, additional stories and stuff like that. Paying for clothing is where I draw the line. Buying, and I'm going to say this, and it's going to be very hypocritical coming out of my mouth because I have done this in the past. Buying clothing for your avatar shouldn't be something that happens. And I'll admit, I got sucked into it. I bought some of the avatar things for WWE 2K, WWE 12, WWE 13, and such. But
money well spent.
Hey, I got my championship belt and my CM Punk T-shirt. for my avatar. I should stop talking now.
Yeah, you're just making yourself sound that much more pathetic. We're gonna lose those 17 viewers or people on Twitter overnight. Oh, the sun's going away.
According to PWInsider.com, the game design and the WWE 2K15 feature of a Great Rivalries story mode was created nearly a year ago. This would mean that it was set several months before Punk decided to leave WWE. Word is that there was no way to change the game this late in the design process without completely removing the entire story mode, which is why Punk is featured in the game.
Wow.
Don't think this means he's come to an agreement on a new deal with WWE. It's just at this point they couldn't fucking change it.
Right.
And finally, 2K Games has announced that they will reveal the entire roster this Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. You can watch on IGN.com and probably a few other places.
So, Drew McIntyre and let's see, Jason Albert, and let's see who else are they going to throw in there. Evan Bourne will be in there.
Evan Bourne hasn't been in the game in 2 years. But no,
Ricardo Rodriguez
the big
as El
announcement
Local.
this year was as El Local. Yeah. My concern, and I'm still kind of upset about this, is with the actual career mode being limited to Xbox One and PS4. Does that mean that the NXT wrestlers that have all been, everybody's been excited that are being included in the game, are also going to be limited to PS1, PS4, and Xbox One?
Maybe. I don't know.
Because if that's the case, that's like double horse shit. And now I got to find $400 so I can get an Xbox One.
You're better off getting that extra colored tutu for Alexa Bliss.
Oh, next.
You watch,
Forbes reports that WWE SummerSlam ticket prices have dropped due to financial trouble in the company. The secondary market, aka scalpers and ticket agencies, will have the cheapest tickets in 4 years for SummerSlam.
Wow.
SummerSlam is easier to analyze than other pay-per-views because it's been held in the Staples Center in Los Angeles every year since 2009. Stop doing that.
Wait, they can lower the price of those tickets, but there's a local event that's coming here, and I was like, oh, I'll go. And like ticket prices are up like $20-$30 from like the last time I went, and it wasn't even like a Raw.
Well, remember, this isn't tickets directly from WWE. This is secondary agencies.
Oh, okay, like StubHub and.
Exactly.
Okay.
The average ticket price has dropped almost $8, the lowest since 2011. While this could be due to the company's financial trouble, it is possible that it's due to a lack of variety in the venue and matches. John Cena and Brock Lesnar, for example, have been in a main event each year at SummerSlam for the past 4 years.
Not against each other, but just in a main event?
Yes.
True. Good point.
Which kind of ties into what we were talking about earlier with you mentioning during Raw that you're not that fired up for this main event, and I can't imagine why.
Yeah, it's because they haven't done anything to sell it.
Right. Let's clear this side before we get to the predictions, because Troy's kind of ties in here as well. But Sean says, when I played Xbox One, X-Pac won.
Clever.
Will Megan the Therapist be an active competitor now, like what happened with Alicia Fox after she debuted as Edge's wedding planner? One can only not hope. Zach Gowen also buys his tickets from StubHub. Sean's on a roll tonight.
I'm not as quick as him. I'm just nowhere near.
I keep telling him he needs to take like improv classes or something. Anyway, the WWE Twitter posted today, at Viva Del Rio slaps like a little bitch. Also, he and Ricardo used to do sex to each other.
The phrase "do sex." I love it.
All right. So, SummerSlam. Troy chimes in. SummerSlam lineup is Cena versus Brock in a winner misses the next 3 special events match. Rusev versus Swagger in a manager on a pole match. Ambrose versus Rollins in a jobber mosh pit match. And Stephanie versus Brie in a bathroom break match. Better get the network.
Now I thought that manager on a pole match, isn't that actually kind of true with Lana? Isn't that like
All right. Before we get to the SummerSlam predictions officially, I do need to mention a promise that was made by former official listener Glenn Morton, our
Glenn.
good buddy, the UK Viper, Glenn D. Morton, who promised, and I'm holding him to this because I am announcing it as part of the program this week. Glenn promised me on Facebook Messenger that for every prediction that I get right, he will donate $5 to the program. There are 8 matches announced for the pay-per-view so far.
We're so screwed.
So if I sweep, that's $40 to the podcast and a new official listener.
You won't be able to do that. You are awful. You always are like, I think this person's going to win. And I'm like, nope, I'm right. Let's do
I'm
it.
sorry, I wanted the Wyatt family to become tag team champions.
It's okay.
Jerk.
I just know the facts. Let's do this. Where are we starting?
We'll go from the bottom and make our way to the top. Miz versus Dolph for the Intercontinental Championship.
Okay, question 1. I thought they were considering making this a consolidation match. Did that just fall apart?
Apparently it did. Or they'll announce it on SmackDown.
If it is Miz versus Dolph, they're going to keep it on Miz.
I agree with that. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
that makes you correct.
I'm hoping Dolph, but I have a feeling they'll keep it on the Miz as well. So, Chris Jericho versus Bray Wyatt.
They've got to get it to Bray this time, right?
Yes. Jericho gets the win on the 3rd-tier pay-per-view. Wyatt gets his comeuppance on the major pay-per-view.
Yeah,
That's how you put someone over, John Cena.
Maybe. That last interview is the only thing that made this match interesting to me. That last segment that they had, like I was not really looking forward to seeing them again, just because they hadn't done much to build it up, at least in my mind. Speaking of matches we don't care about,
Harper are banned from ringside as well.
That'll make him look even stronger if he could beat Jericho without their help.
Right, exactly. So, Rusev versus Swagger in a flag match. I'm still not exactly sure what the rules of a flag match are.
It's probably like if you're the first person who it's either one of two things. The first person who gets to the flag gets to use it, or the first person who gets the flag wins. It's probably the second.
Probably, and that sucks.
I'm gonna say, I don't know. Does Rusev lose here finally?
I think he might. I honestly think he might.
I mean, it is SummerSlam. It is like, I don't know.
It is SummerSlam, but on the other hand, it is Jack Swagger.
Right.
So there's that.
That's true. I am gonna go. I'm gonna go with Rusev.
You're gonna go with Rusev. I think I'm gonna stick with Swagger on that one.
Okay.
The Page A. Lee powers explode. Battle of the Frenemies. She's fine. She's fine. Paige versus AJ Lee for the Divas Championship.
I would like it to be Paige because AJ has done nothing but piss me off since she's come back and has not impressed me one little bit, but I'm going to go with AJ.
I'm going to go Paige on this.
Really?
I think Paige is going to get her title back.
Interesting choice. so that way AJ can go make babies?
Something like that. Sean, that makes sense. Sean says the rules of a flag match are simple. The first person to burn his opponent's flag wins.
Now that would be an interesting match. That would be interesting.
Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins in a lumberjack match. Dear God, why?
I got to give it to my boy Seth. Or are you predicting Schmaz?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm conflicted over this one. I want to say, like, if it has an end, then I want it to be. I'm going to say Dean.
Okay.
But again, like I talked about earlier, I just see this breaking down into chaos.
So
And
if it breaks down to chaos, do you get $5? And if Dean Ambrose wins, you get $5? So
I'm making the decree, yes.
okay, fair enough. Your podcast, so there you go.
Yeah, I really do. I just see this kind of breaking down into madness, and therefore extending the feud even further to the point where they'll have to do like a cage match or a Hell in a Cell or something.
Right.
So, I mean, Hell in a Cell is coming up. So
That is true.
Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton.
Probably Roman Reigns.
Agreed. And this is the other thing that makes me mad. We're going in the opposite order as they're listed on the SummerSlam.com. So what I assume to be least important to most important, based on how they're doing this, which means we've got 2 matches left, and the match that's listed second is Brie Bella versus Stephanie McMahon.
And I will say the exact same thing that I said before. While, yes, this is not a feud that we particularly care all that much about, they have done a very good job, mostly, with the exception of the wedding planner / therapist / whatever moment, of actually really trying to sell this angle. This angle has been built for months, rather than just thrown together. Now, if they did that with some of these other people, that'd be great, and some of the other matches, but at the same time, I understand why it's pushed up there, because if you listen to the crowds, they're really into this potential match. I have not heard a crowd where they've been like, snore, boring. So they're apparently doing something right, whether we agree or disagree with it.
That might be related only to the fact that it kind of technically, in a way, involves Daniel Bryan.
Right, and that's the other thing I said earlier before we started recording. The actual podcast is keeping Daniel Bryan relevant to the fan base, right, which is a good thing if you're a Daniel Bryan fan.
So Brie wins, right?
Yeah, Brie wins, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. And finally, your main event for the evening: John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. Sorry. In a WWE World Heavyweight Championship match.
I don't want Brock to win, because, in my opinion, Brock has no place in this company. And the only reason why he's relevant to any way, shape, or form at this point is because Paul Heyman is a genius.
Yep.
And I almost want to say that John Cena retains just to piss everyone off and to shock the world, because everyone expects Brock Lesnar to win. But I know that Cena's going to be filming a movie, so it makes me wonder, maybe that's going to be what keeps him out and takes the title off of him. So I'm going to go with Brock, even though I think it would be, and you will disagree, but I think it would be a shocking and awesome moment if John Cena could pick out the victory.
Okay. I am going Brock on this one. Sal brought up an interesting point to me via text message. Can you see any reasonable explanation why Cena should retain at SummerSlam? He says, I'm trying to picture all possible scenarios. What if Brock's been running his mouth too much lately? What if Paul Heyman's been running his mouth too much? What if the dead man himself returns at SummerSlam to cost Brock the match?
I don't know. I
just based on how SummerSlam, how WrestleMania went, with the shock of that, I am fully expecting another quote-unquote shock at SummerSlam with Brock going over
but it's not a shock.
Getting the title.
But that's the thing. It's not even a shock. Everyone is expecting Brock to win. Everyone. So much so that Paul Heyman had to go to like Twitter or somewhere to defend the fact that Brock Lesnar will be a a champion who's not on TV every week. Like, everyone expects it, which is why I kind of want, and I want Cena to win. I want him to kind of pull out the victory and keep this guy from holding the damn belt. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. I don't know. Your thoughts?
The only thing that's making me even slightly lean Cena on this one is the fact that it's the guy who beat the streak. And everyone's been going on and on about how this was such a good idea, because when the time finally comes, how much of a rub will the new guy get by being the guy who beat the streak?
Right.
My fear, as is always my fear, and you should be used to this by now,
I am used to it.
is that they're going to waste that on John Cena and have John Cena be the guy who beat the streak, because he's a fucking superhero.
You know, my dream match I guess my second tier dream match for WrestleMania is I would like to see John Cena hold on to the title all the way till WrestleMania, so that way he can fight The Undertaker, and The Undertaker, and it's streak versus, or it's career versus title. Undertaker beats Cena, so gets that one match that people, he hasn't fought Cena at WrestleMania, he hasn't had that big moment with him, beats him, goes to Raw with the title, sets the title down in the ring, and then walks away and he retires. Anyway.
See, I was saying that should have happened a few years ago, when it was him versus
Punk.
Was it Punk? But that wasn't for the title.
Punk was last year. I don't remember who it was for the title.
Anyway.
That would have been long before Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, no, actually it was Punk, but Punk had my thought was that Punk shouldn't have lost the title to The Rock at the Royal Rumble. He should have held on to the title until WrestleMania, lost it to The Undertaker at WrestleMania, and then after that match, what happens is lights go out, gong sounds, blue lights come up, it's just the title belt in the ring, and The Undertaker is gone.
Right.
And that's how he retired.
I can see that. That'd be a great visual.
Exactly, and they didn't do it because they're idiots.
And they could do it still. They could possibly do it still. They could even do it if Brock Lesnar holds the title till WrestleMania, have the big rematch between them, have Undertaker come in kind of like a role like Shawn Michaels was, where he's like, if I can't do this, I'm going to retire. Beats him.
But even then, it's still wasting that supposed huge monumental push.
Yeah, but can you imagine the amount of draw that's going to get after 1 year after Undertaker loses and the streak ends, comes back for revenge.
Right.
So like that story tells itself.
Sean Marshall on the side has a good point that he brought up to me earlier today at work, saying his idea is that Rollins will cash in and beat, he says Cena, I'm going to say whoever ends up.
Ooh, I don't think so.
It's going to be a brutal match.
It's going to be a very brutal match. I don't see Rollins cashing in yet, just because, unless he really takes care of Dean Ambrose
right
during this event. If there's a decisive end to Ambrose during this pay-per-view, then yes, you're going to see a likelihood of Rollins coming in to cash in. But it would make sense, though, because both of them are part-time. Cena's not part-time, but he's going off to do the movie. Brock is a part-time guy. You'd be putting the belt on someone who's full-time.
Right. And it's not like they haven't put the belt on someone who's part-time already.
I know.
Troy says, no Sheamus, so I assume he faces Fandango on the pre-show?
That's probably going to happen.
That'll be your
Let's
US
call it now
match.
for the title. There's no tag title match either, which I'm thinking they're going to put on the
They got to do
pre-show.
something on SmackDown, yeah. I guess the Dead Man could return to cost Brock the match, but Bam Bam Bigelow likely has better hauntings to do. That's a bit of a stretch, I think, Sean.
That's a little much there.
When I put cheese on my toast, it went into brie mode. Again, that's a bit of a stretch. Sean. Well, anyway, that's that.
Sorry, I didn't even see that comment. That's amazing.
You can job to my brie Bella. Ella. I'm not going to sing that fucking song because that's awful. And Sean likes Glenn's idea. Says that's a pretty genius donation idea by Glenn D. Morton. That's why he's the apex better. All right, so That's our SummerSlam predictions, and I think that does it for the rundown for this Wednesday, August 13th, 2014. 156 days since the Usos won the WWE Tag Team Championship. APW this Saturday, August 16th, at the APW Arena at the Newbury Fire Hall in Newbury, Massachusetts. For all the details, go to AtlanticProWrestling.com. VCW Summer Brawl, Sunday, August 17th in Wakefield, Massachusetts. Go to VCWLivewire.com. Reminder, that starts at 2 o'clock, so you don't miss SummerSlam. That's very nice of them. Lucky Pro Wrestling Caged Mayhem in Hudson, Mass. on Friday, September 26th. LuckyProWrestling.weebly.com.
Really?
I got some very sad news on Saturday. Apparently they are finding their own domain and they're not going to have Weebly anymore, so we don't have to.
Well, that's good. I'm glad they were able to pay for that. It's only like $30.
Elkmania 2 is coming September 27th. It is officially an event on Facebook now, so it's an actual thing. So go to elkmania.com and see if they ever update that. And Liberty States returns from our summer break in October. Go to libertystateswrestling.com.
All right. I'm too lazy to look. Go ahead.
All right. Follow us on Twitter at Rundown Podcast to watch me live tweet raw. Send your feedback. Send your Ryback theme song. Send your catchphrase suggestions. Send your fake sponsors. Send your real sponsors. Send Doctor Who creative wrestler templates for Pertwee through Hurt. Send questions for me to answer on YouTube. Your Dear WWE letters. Your suggestions for Vince on how to cut the budget. And really anything else you can think of to rundownwrestling@gmail.com. Also, your submissions for articles on the blog. We'll talk about that in a second. Or,
I went to the doctor once because my Pertwee hurt, and he gave me a cream for it, and it just cleared right up.
leave us a voicemail at 206-202-6478, 206-20-ANGST. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/rundownwrestling. If you want to make a donation of the money, Sean screwed me up by putting the thing here. I will not scare Sal's daughters.
Oh, if that prediction is true, then you all will have diarrhea by the end of the show. Like that's because it's Domino's, and Domino's is the worst pizza in all creation.
It's really not, but shut up.
No, it really is. It really is.
If you want to make a donation of the monetary variety, go to rundown.podomatic.com and click on the PayPal donate button on the right-hand side of the screen. Donate at least $26 and go to tinyurl.com/distant horizons and purchase at least one copy of this book.
Look, I didn't mention it during the show except for the very beginning.
To become our new official listener and unseat Aaron Glass. Watch our archived episodes on youtube.com/rundownpodcast and circle me on Google Plus at google.com/plus Adam Rundown Host. The blog is at rundownwrestling.blogspot.com. Troy Bozen has his weekly NXT Power Rankings, so check that out. And he also wrote an article for us this week about why TNA sucks so hard. Search for us on iTunes under the Rundown Wrestling Podcast. If you subscribe, you get the podcast delivered to you absolutely free each and every week for $0.00. If you cannot afford a donation, go to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review because that helps other people find us. If you leave a text review, we will read your name and your review on a future episode like these fine people.
Hey, Adam.
What?
Do you like horror? I had to say that very clearly so you understood what I said.
Horror?
If you like horror and you like podcasts that tell stories, check out shadowvein.net, a podcast project that I am starting. We officially, by tomorrow, Thursday, it'll be live on the website, the preview short little episode, which will actually feature your better half doing some of the voice work. So shadowvein.net. First official debut episode is penciled in for October 1st.
How did she debut on the podcast before I did when I'm your best friend?
I can't help you. I'm sorry. Because she has female reproductive organs, and I needed that, and I couldn't figure out how to make it turn my voice into a female voice.
Sean Marshall says he believes we have a new iTunes review that wasn't there when I checked for the show, so it'll get read next week.
Sweet.
We are also available on Stitcher, on Stitcher.com or the Stitcher app on your mobile device. Just download it, search for the Rundown Wrestling Podcast, and give it a listen. Still free, but you stream from their service. You can choose from your favorites of tens of thousands of podcasts, but really, why would you listen to anyone other than ours?
Sorry. On Monday, September 1st, the Pregnant Women's Boxing Federation presents Induced Labor Day. Oh, that's awesome.
Wow, Sean.
Oh, Sean, I'm glad to have you back next week. Sorry, Raccoon Reigns back next week.
Wow. Thanks to Tegan Brown for the logo. Thanks to everyone for listening. Thanks to Sean and Sal and Troy and Aaron for posting comments on the side this week.
Absolutely.
I hope I wasn't too distracting by reading them during the show. Thanks to Andrew.
You are welcome.
For dealing with my shithole computer.
Yeah, it was fun.
And thanks to iFightDragons at iFightDragons.com for the theme song. Next week,
what?
Thank you. A full SummerSlam report featuring Raccoon Reigns. The finals of the Rundown Showdown. Edge or Triple H. Who will it be? Make your voices heard. Plus, an exclusive interview.
What?
An exclusive one-on-one interview with the WWE Scratch Logo, who'll tell us about his first few days of retirement and if he has yet to hook up with his old friend F.
Hey, if Raccoon Reigns is coming next week, that means that I'm going to officially debut a new guest host for next week.
Yay.
He's been sitting over there hanging out for like the last few months. Not the mask, but that's been sitting there for several months as well.
More puppets, more fun.
It'll be a puppet-tastic show.
Yeah.
I think they said that on the reviews as well. Yeah, go check out the get on the Facebook or the Twitters and do the survey if you have not yet. So
just go do the survey. It will link it regularly on the Facebook page if we remember. And be sure to join us next week, or else we will cover you in urine, vomit, and blood.
Gross.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye. So which one of those did Daniel Bryan have in his beard?
Gross.
And stop. All right.
See, new format, and we're still at an hour 37.
I know, right? But I feel like we actually discussed things instead of just running through things and not being topical at all.
That's true. What did you guys think of the format? Leave the comments on this side.
Yeah, it's our post show. Oh, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh.
This is Rundown Fallout.
Rundown After Dark. Damn it, I was going to run outside. It's like way too dark now. I'm probably going to get mugged if I go outside. So I'll have to go to the gym or just run in place in the living room. Let's see, Rundown. I have 2 podcast folders now, so it's like so confusing. 164.
See, I just save mine to the desktop until I'm done with it, and then
you move it?
Then I drag it into the appropriate folder.
I've got so many like audio files right now for my podcast because it's more than just like, mashing 2 files together. I had like tons.
Yeah, I don't envy you for having a multitude of cast members on a podcast.
Yeah, that's going to be a little difficult, but yeah, I'll get through it. Oh, I just titled it that. Okay, well that's done. Andy. Save. All right. Okay. So no comments about the format except for Sean says must be a new format. Sean says I have summer sample. Okay, we're ready to do that one. It's spinning, son. It's spinning. Check out the belt. It's spinning. Who dares to suggest changes to the rundown? I don't know, Sean. I don't know.
That's the thing about the survey. It's anonymous. Some of them, are obvious who the respondent is, because I know Vinny's was very obvious.
Your wife's was
My
obvious.
wife's was very obvious. But that's the thing, Sean. It's an anonymous survey, so nobody has to leave their name about. And Deals was obvious because he left that comment on the end about that was my 1 minute of seriousness.
Right.
Speaking of Deal wasn't here this week. What the fuck is that?
No. He's been busy having a life or something. 2 notifications.
Say what?
What? Okay.
My computer's frozen.
All right. I had to pee for like the last hour, so I'll be right back.
On that note. Oh, fuck it. Just got really dark in here. There we are. Hello, friends. That's the problem. I only have one light in the studio, and it's over there. It's over there. I forget how small this thing is. It's over there. There's nothing over here that's going to provide any light except my iPad, which is directly in front of me. Great show again. Thank you, Troy. Blah, 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 blah. God damn it, Lorraine. Steve? More references to work that no one's going to get, Sean Marshall. Thank you very much. On that note, I'm sweating my balls off, so I'm going to end it now. And thank you for watching, everyone. We love you. Me too. Take your vitamins. Say your prayers. Kill a hobo. Rundown Wrestling.